Welcome back to Better Portland. I'm Brooke Carlson. We're spending the day inside of Cupcake Jones, an appropriate spot because we're talking to the author of It's Raining Cupcakes, Lisa Schroeder. Thanks so much for hanging out with us in here today. Now tell me, you've written a couple of books for young adults. This is your first one in this category.
Right.
Tell me about the book.
It's about 12-year-old Isabel who lives in a small town in Oregon and dreams of traveling. And she discovers a baking contest where the finalists will be flown to New York City to compete. So she decides to enter. The only problem is that her mother, who's opening up a cupcake shop, has a different idea of the type of recipe Isabel should enter. So even though it's a fun book, Cupcakes, of course there has to be some conflict in there too.
Right, and I'm dying to know if she actually gets there, but we're not going to give that away right now.
No, we're not going to tell you. You have to read the book. Right.
What was your inspiration for this story?
I also write young adult novels, as you said, and they're sadder, a little bit darker, and I was in between projects, and I really wanted to do something happy. And so I was driving one day thinking, what's something that I could write about that would make people smile? Mm-hmm. And so Cupcakes came to mind, and that's how it started. I thought, how fun to write a book that's set in or around a cupcake shop.
Speaking of, did you do a lot of research with cupcakes?
I did, of course. I came here, sampled some, went online to get ideas of the different kind of flavors that are offered. So it was a very fun part of writing the book.
I bet. This type of age group, is it fun to write? Is it hard? Are there any challenges with it?
I think the biggest challenge is that because they're often 7, 8, 9-year-olds, they have adults sometimes still reading to them. Mm-hmm. So you need to write a book that's going to be interesting to the kids as well as the adults who are reading it. So, and also just being true to a 12-year-old's voice. I don't want to sound like myself. I want to sound like Isabel. And so that's always a challenge too, just staying true to the character.
Right, which was another question I had, was finding that 12-year-old voice. So did you hang out with 12-year-olds to find out, what's their lingo? How do they talk?
Well, luckily I have a kid that age. He's a boy, but he has friends, obviously, that are girls and boys. But it just came really naturally. I think that somewhere inside of me there's still a 12-year-old girl living inside of there. I loved books that age. I loved to bake when I was that age. So just like Isabel, there were a lot of things I had in common with her.
It's a little bit of you in there.
Yeah.
Now, every once in a while, you'll drive around and do signings. You'll just pop into a bookstore and sign books.
Right. So I can't always do a big event where you sit and have people come, and people are busy, so I'll just go into a bookstore, grab my pile of books, ask if I can sign them, and then that way people who are local here can still find a signed book from me. There's some at Powell's in Beaverton, actually, that you can go get some. So.
Okay, and where else can you find the book?
Barnes & Noble, online. Powell's is a great place.
Okay, fantastic. Read it to your kids. Read it for yourself. It's Raining Cupcakes. Thanks so much, Lisa.